If I told you that you could never drink an energy drink again, there would be thousands of people yelling and screaming and complaining at me. However, realistically speaking, it's definitely something you should consider doing if you're an avid energy drink drinker or you've ever considered purchasing one. Now, it may not seem, overly harmful considering a single energy drink, roughly the size of this water bottle, on average of 16 ounces, contains the same amount of caffeine that would be in 96 ounces of a standard cup of coffee. That's a lot. Now, according to NIH.gov, generally speaking, the amount of caffeine that people intake from an energy drink is enough within a few weeks can alter your heart and the blood vessels throughout your body and the way they process both caffeine and sugar. Now, the main issue here isn't the fact that it's being consumed, it's just the large scale of it that's happening in our modern day. Obviously, it's not good for you to drink. However, 30 years ago, there was not nearly as many being sold and purchased, or even as many options on the market as there is now. Let's say that maybe social media has a problem with that. A huge influence in what we buy and purchase comes from influencers online, and the biggest issue is it's hard to take that away considering social media influencing is one of the largest growing jobs in our country currently. Now, according to Business Insider, on average, the next generation of people, or Gen Z as we like to call it, is exposed to energy drinks through not only social media, whether that be YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, but also things such as Twitch. I mean, watching your favorite gamer stream online and seeing them drink a Red Bull or a Ghost or any of these other growing companies persuades a lot of kids into wanting to purchase that. Now, the National Healthline for America has done a lot of research behind this, but most of the research done is only on adults. And the research on adults is really bad. Now, we can assume that that is even worse for people in my age group, or just generally teenagers throughout the entire country, given the fact that our brains are still developing and so much of our body is still growing. And if we damage that, how does that alter our future? Now, a lot of these tests were conducted using subjects such as Monster, Red Bull, 5 Hour Energy, and the new growing brand Ghost. Now, a lot of these companies obviously have been around for a while. Monster and Red Bull being those two big brands. But companies like Ghost are really targeting this younger group of kids in the same way that nicotine companies are. Ghost has partnered with the likes of many brands of fruity candies, from Sour Patch Kids to Skittles, in hopes of drawing in this younger generation who really tend to enjoy candy. Because we're kids, obviously, right? But the problem with that is these kids are consuming, in a small 16-ounce factor, hundreds of milligrams of caffeine within 45 minutes to an hour, given the average consumption. That is a big issue, because it's okay maybe if you have one of these every now and then, but a lot of people are drinking them daily. Or they're being advertised as fuel for gaming, right? Which obviously is not true. Caffeine consumption is not necessarily a large issue, but in the quantity and scale it is, especially in kids who are developing and our bodies are continuously changing and growing, it can have a lot of effects. It can increase your chances of heart disease and things like anxiety and depression in your future. Now, the National Healthline has obviously done a lot of work and research behind all of this, and you can choose what you'd like, but, I'd like to decrease my risk of a heart attack and a few less trips to a therapist. So, do yourself a favor And if you're thinking about buying or starting to drink energy drinks, do not fall for these endless traps you see online, and be sure to completely cut it out of your diet if you do, because these consumption of drinks and even foods such as candies that contain high amounts of caffeine, this delivers it directly in your bloodstream in a small amount of time. Similar to how morphine is really, really effective. But generally speaking, I think that you should always, always consider the downsides and the side effects of putting something into your body, no matter what it is. Stick to the basics, and no matter how good your favorite streamer online is performing, that obviously has no effect with how you perform in video games. And the NCAA has banned a lot of these energy drinks in their sporting events due to the risk of health issues caused by them, such as Monster and Red Bull. I think just from these three sources alone, you can easily determine that yes, this is not good for me, and two, it is not worth the side effects. So I think you should join me and stay away from all of that nonsense that comes in a little can.